loud. Okay. It's fun to watch everybody drop in.
Hi.
Nick. Jessica, Sherlyn, Joel, Kyle, Mario, Brax. Cool, cool. I don't have any like fun peppy music going. That seems like a lot of pressure to pick a song for everyone. You need Carrie. She's the DJ. Hi, Tammy.
We'll try it unmuted. Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Becky. Hi, Becky.
I know.
Kimber, you should be playing cool, peppy music.
Oh. Right?
DJ.
Let's see. By the time I figure it out, the meeting will
It'll be time to start.
This is when you know you're living right, when the first YouTube video it suggests on your account is Peppa Pig and Wreck-It Ralph.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't love some Peppa Pig?
Emmy Loescher in the house.
We got a good group here. Candace, hey Candace, Lori, Cody. There's Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Oh, we even got a heart with her hands from Lisa.
Aw. And Luke.
I gave up on music because I figured you're starting soon, right?
Yeah, we'll give everybody like one more second and we'll start on this. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Can you see the team meeting slide, Kimber?
I can.
All right. It's like the hardest part, making sure your screen's shared properly. All right, well, let's start it out. We're at 11:02. We'll let people kind of drop in as they come in, but welcome to team meeting today. I will be your host as Emily is in some super amazing team leader training, as if it could make her any smarter and more amazing than she already is. So we are going to go ahead and move ahead with our team meeting today. So how about bucket fills? Does anybody have any bucket fills, any good shout outs you can share with us?
I'm going to give a shout out to Nick because he is in charge of Ignite now, and it's not a small task getting all of those instructors and curriculum and engagement, because I know we have a lot of new agents, so I'm just going to go ahead and give him a shout out.
Awesome. Good job, Nick.
Thank you. I would definitely shout out all the instructors that have been helping us. Like yesterday we had Eden and Scott Hardy and Jeff Farrell and Tori Tarver Watts. I called her Tori Tarver yesterday. Yeah.
Hard to retrain the brain.
But seriously, and then Emily Hayes this morning and a bunch more this week. I really appreciate you guys helping me out and sharing all your knowledge. They would be really bored if they had to listen to me all day long. So thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks, Nick. Anybody else?
Frickin' Amy Gibbons, congratulations
Yeah.
to her winning Board of Realtors, Salt Lake Board of Realtors.
We have a whole
guys don't know
slide
her. She
dedicated
is-
just to her.
She is a BA boss. So I'm so stoked to have her on there.
Yeah, for sure. Big bucket fills to her. Anybody else? I've got one for, man, our preferred lender, Brock. Brock, if you're out there, man, I feel like we have been through a war these last 30 days on a deal of mine. And this guy pulled it together. I had written up a cancellation 2 times and had it signed, waiting to be delivered. And Brock pulled it out, and we should be closing this week. So if you've got some rough deals, not that I wanted to send him all the rough deals, but man, he killed it. So big bucket fill there. I was really excited with how that ended up after being so rough. So thank you, Brock. Anybody else?
We were hanging out with the Wisers yesterday. Wisers, they accomplished their year goal halfway through the year. So now they're going to just try to double their goal that they had this year. So they're having their best year ever.
Awesome.
Rocking it, Wisers.
So cool.
So rad.
Good job, guys. All right. Anybody else? Any other buckets? All right. So vendor spotlight is Barack from Cross Country Mortgage. Is he on? Once I shared my screen, it made it so I couldn't
Sent
see
him the
everything.
link yesterday. I don't see him, so I'll watch for him, and then maybe we can have him.
Okay,
go
we
after.
can circle back if he pops on. All righty, broker moment. Rich, you're up.
All righty. How many out there are writing offers using an escalation clause? Would you say it's more than half the time right now?
Yeah.
So my opinion on escalation clauses probably differs from most, but I feel like it actually weakens your offer as a buyer. And let me explain why. Oftentimes on an escalation clause, you'll put a maximum purchase price. So maybe the purchase price is $500,000, but you put, we're willing to do up to $540,000 if there's any other better offers, and we'll pay $2,000 above. Didn't explain that great, but you see what I'm saying. What we now know as a listing agent is, why would we take anything less than $540,000? They have already told us they want to buy the home and they're willing to go up to $540,000. So there's a risk on escalation clauses in disclosing what your high price is. A few things that I think strengthen your offer better than that is non-refundable earnest money upon acceptance, large amounts of earnest money, not necessarily on acceptance, but you can give somebody more calendar days to move out. So where most people will put recording, if you give them 15 or 30 or even 45 days, that could strengthen your offer depending on what is needed. But the biggest concern oftentimes is, will it appraise and what's going to happen? So if you address if it appraises low and what your purchase price will be up front, I think that's a better strength. There's a few more tactics which I'm going to include in an email, but just thought I'd give you my thoughts on that. So anybody have questions on escalation clauses or how to write a better offer than that?
How do you recommend, Rich, when they, we've talked about this a little bit, When you're saying we'll pay $3,000 above the appraised value, I know I talked to you about it once and you said maybe it's not the best to actually put that inside the offer.
Well, it's not the best for the seller, because if you agree that the purchase price will be $3,000 above appraised price, and let's say the appraisal comes in $40,000 low, now you've obligated your client to sell for $37,000 below what they were expecting, and so what I would do is probably put a parameter and say, we'll use that 500 example again. If your client's lowest they're willing to take is 580 or 585, you put buyer will pay $3,000 above appraised price. In the event the appraisal comes in below 485, buyer or seller may cancel this contract. And at the same time, you may want to put a cap. If you're the buyer's agent, if you're the sellers, you wouldn't put a cap on the appraisal. But on the buyer, if you were the buyer's agent, you may say the appraisal may come in between 485 and 510. And if it's greater than 510, purchase price will be 510. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you. I think that's
Yeah.
great value right now for sure. All right. So like Eden mentioned, our own Amy Gibbons was voted onto the 2021 Board of Directors. So we want to give a huge shout out to her and congratulations. And it's so awesome to see some of our own just
Speech.
out there killing it.
Yeah, acceptance speech.
That's amazing. So congratulations, Amy. We're so proud to call you one of ours.
Yeah,
Okay.
give us your acceptance speech real quick.
Is she on? Is Amy on?
Yeah, she's on.
Amy, we turn the time over to you.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. It
Yes.
usually highlights it. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for your support. So hopefully I can take issues from a large brokerage to the board and bring about change. And I'm always impressed with Rich when I have questions, like real detail-oriented questions. We can banter back and forth and come up with solutions. And I think that's basically what happens at the board level and with the board of directors. It's just everyone has a different opinion. So it's going to be fun to come to you guys and hear what you have to say, and then see what, when rules are changing or, marketing's coming up, just getting you guys involved and getting your opinions on things. So thanks for your support.
Awesome. Congrats, Amy. Okay, so Mega Camp is coming up September 15th through 17th. Raise your hand if you've ever gone to a Mega Camp before. So there's a lot of us, and there's a lot of us that haven't had that opportunity yet either. So it's kind of a cool blessing in disguise, this whole COVID, because it's a virtual experience. But Keller Williams is really going above and beyond to make it an individual experience inside a large virtual experience. So there's going to be some really cool features that really will help you dial into exactly what you want to focus on and make it for you. And we're going to try and do some cool stuff as a market center to get together and really celebrate that time and have fun together like we would had we all traveled to Austin together. So what's great, usually this is a $3,000 or so investment with airfare and hotel and tickets and the whole shebang. And it is $119 right now to register for the virtual Mega Camp. So it's amazing quality information, can really help you grow your business. And I really, really recommend getting on and signing up for that. If you have any questions, reach out to any of us at the staff, but you can just sign up under mykw.com, click on events. You can click on Mega Camp and get that registration done. So it's an awesome opportunity for all of us there.
Can I add a little bit more details to that, Amy? I had my coach call this morning, and I was trying to get a better idea for like what it actually is going to be about, or like how it's going to run. And she like said that, by running Bold and a lot of like the big virtual events that we've had, they've had a lot of learning experiences to try to make this like the best, most like immersive experience you can get. And so they're actually building out a platform that is going to be customized to you. And they're going to send out a survey beforehand to see, how long you've been in the business, what your production is. And so they're going to learn more about you as an individual. And then they're going to have, you know, tons of different breakout sessions that you can choose from. And you can hop between breakout sessions. And so if there's one that you feel like you're not getting the most value from, then you can go to another one, and you'll have the agenda beforehand. So it's almost like you're there at Mega Camp. You can go to all these different classes, but also or have like an experience that's more catered to what you're looking for. So they're investing a lot of time and a lot of money into this killer platform that they have. And so I would at least go on and look at the agenda, because especially right now with where everything's at and how we're like pivoting our businesses, like this is a really great way, I think, of how you can get like super hyper focused on you know what you need right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Eden. Brock, I saw you jump on. Do you want to go back to our vendor spotlight?
Yeah, hey, sorry. I lost track of time. I was like looking at it, had 15 minutes to go, and then suddenly lost track. Sorry. Anyway, so I know that we're all struggling majorly on getting offers accepted, and it's been complicated. And actually, Amy and I had one where what I'm going to share with you guys could possibly have had served us well, but it's what caused me to learn that I have this benefit here at Cross Country. So a lot of the lower end price points for some of these first time buyers that can't afford a ton happen to be in condo developments. And the condo developments, as we know, many of them are not FHA approved, but many of those buyers are more or less channeled into FHA for qualifying. So one cool thing that we offer, and maybe some clarity on like FHA spot approvals. So I'll start there. FHA spot approvals, they are eligible, but they're not eligible if the project was reviewed and rejected by, or declined or whatever by FHA. There's a couple different, I guess, results that can happen. But if it was ever reviewed and rejected by FHA, it's not eligible for spot approval by a lender. FHA has to review that condo to do a spot approval. Another layer on that is FHA limits the number of spot approvals to 10% of the total units in the development. So that's another caveat. So just because spot approvals exist doesn't mean it's a certainty. And in fact, many of them are rejected. However, the ones that aren't rejected and haven't been reviewed by FHA for whatever reason, those qualify for a spot approval, of course, but even better, that could be valuable for you to even maybe get more listings in a development or whatever, is we can run point on getting a full approval on the entire project through FHA. Again, as long as it hasn't been reviewed and rejected by them for some reason. We can do it as a delegated lender, and it can happen pretty quick. Ideally, we have a longer contract period, like 40 days or something like that to get it done. But it can generally happen in like a week or two. Simultaneous to the regular underwriting approval, we can get a full condo project approved. So that's a really cool feature that we have. And I'll pause. Does anybody have questions about FHA condo approvals or what I just mentioned?
Well, remind me the name of the website that you can go to where it tells you if they're FHA approved or not.
So what I do is I just Google FHA condo, and it's the first one. It's a long. Here, I'll put it in the chat here. Hang on.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. Yep, no worries. So you can search that. And if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to help. But that's a major benefit and feature, and I think something you can leverage to get future business if we go about that and get a full project approved. You can probably gather some more listings from it. But then oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just curious, like, how are we going to know that that's a possibility to approve a whole condo project?
So you can ask me, and I can search to see if just on surface level, if I know it won't work because it's been rejected or whatever. So you can send me the MLS number or the address or whatever, and I just have to look up the legal description to pull the condo development name, which is important, as Amy and I learned. We had one that was in a condo development with a different name than the other HOA is what I should say, the other HOA that was on the same street as our home, our subject property was. So it's important to check the legal description, and the best way for me to do that is MLS number or the address.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
What's the process if we want to spot check one? What's the process? Does it take a day or does it take weeks or how long does it take?
Probably 7 to 10 days to get the spot approval done, because there's a questionnaire that has to be filled out, and like everybody else in our industry that has anything to do with real estate, everybody's pretty bogged down. So it's taking some time because there's a decent list of things that we need to get from them to review and see if it is approved.
Cool. Yeah, I was just thinking, I mean, if we send over an FHA addendum, the listing agent says, oh yeah, it's not FHA approved. Sorry. We say, oh yeah, well, just give us 7 to 10 days to see if maybe we could spot check it. I'm like trying to figure out how to best go about that.
Yeah, I think that probably is the best way, and or get the full development approved. And I just need to know, again, what the MLS number is or the address, and then I can run to make sure that, you know, out of the gate, if it's been rejected, we know for sure it won't work either way. So that's probably our first step, but if it hasn't been rejected, chances are good, as long as financing is being done in that development, chances are good that we'll get FHA approval, because they're not necessarily more stringent or difficult than a conventional, the guidelines.
Cool.
Right on. And aside from that, market's doing good. Rates still ultra low, still under 3. So we're in really good shape. Let's get our buyers moving forward. If anybody's on the fence, we are getting in a position now in the market where the rates could tip and start to increase. I mean, hopefully not. Over the past few days, it started to improve again, and maybe we'll gain some more support. But we're getting in a sensitive time, and as we get closer to the election, and I think my expectation is after the election, we're probably going to see some bumpy roads ahead with rates. So.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Brock.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, let's. So a few things coming up that I want you guys to be aware of to put on your calendar. So this is a training that is open to anyone who registers for Mega Camp. Cody Gibson is kind of Keller Williams' celebrity. He's an amazing agent. He's going to be doing a special training about hack your motivation, building the habits of success. And this will be August 26th at 10 a.m. And so that is open for those who register for Mega Camp. So don't wait on registering, get registered soon, and then you can take part in this training with Cody. And then our own Emily is teaching 10 ways to build value in new construction transactions. This is good for 1 CE credit, and it's going to be Tuesday, September 1st from 11 to 12. This is an awesome class to just really teach you how to provide that value when you're the agent on the new construction side. So this would be really great class for you to get some extra CE credit on. Just an hour and you get 1 CE credit. So goodbye green sheets. So green sheets are officially a thing in our past, in our history. They are no longer. As of August 1st, we have no longer been, we don't have access to the green sheet system. So everything is moved into the commissions tab. I feel like the submissions we've been getting have slowed down from prior months. I'm seeing less being submitted. And so I feel like part of that might just be a hesitation on, am I doing this right? Do I submit it now? Do I submit it later? So we do have the green sheet, the Goodbye Green Sheet class on commissions uploaded to our YouTube channel. And I'm going to record a new one and put it up there as well. But if you have any questions or hesitations about that, please reach out to me and let me know. We'll make sure that you feel confident in what you're doing. And just remember that once you fill out that commission tab, you do have to click on the submit button so that we receive it here on the Market Center side. Do you guys have any questions about any of that? Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna move into our July awards. We had an amazing record-breaking July in so many different categories. It's been really amazing. So first of all, we've got our cappers. So those that are now receiving 100% commissions, we've got Rolando, Carmen, Jeff, Stephanie, Cody, Jared, Steve, Tammy Loescher, Ryan Poole, Cody Raymond, Justin Williams, Joey Spiriton, and Lacey Stevens. all capped in the month of July. So congratulations to you guys. First closings, we had Tiffany Crawford, Amelia Freed, and Lori Olson all had their first closings. And first listings, we had Valerie Bond, Tiffany Crawford, Amelia Freed, Carrie McEwen, and Stephen Phelps. So congratulations to you guys. So these are top listing agents. So top listing individuals, we've got Jared, Jeff, Ryan, and Scott. Pretty incredible numbers there as far as new listings. Team members, individuals from teams. We've got Chris, Dwayne, David, Heather, Chris, just a huge list. Cameron, Ryan, Tracy, Andrew, Kevin, Lacey, and Josh, all listing more than 3 units in the month of July. So congratulations, you guys. So top selling agents, this would be for contracts written. And this is just a huge list. I won't go through and read everybody, but Justin Hurd was our top contracts written individual. He wrote 12 contracts in the month of July. And team member, we've got Brian Hurd at 11.76 units written in the month of July. So just a huge list of agents. Just you guys are out there killing it. Congratulations to everybody. And we do have certificates if you guys want to use them for social media. That'll be available at the front desk. For closing, our top closing individual, Justin Hurd at 11 units closed in July. Right behind him on his heels, Jared Hansen at 10 units closed in July. Team members, we've got Brian and the Wiser team right there neck and neck at over 11 units closed in the month of July. So congratulations, you guys. That's just amazing, amazing production. So our Crimson Club individual first place goes to Jared Hansen. He had a combined 29 units and 12.5 million for the month of July. Second place goes to Justin Hurd. He had 23 units and a combined 8.2 million for July. And third place goes to Emily Hayes, 17 units and 6.8 million for the month. So that's just amazing, you guys. Congratulations. It's unbelievable. For our team, first place went to Dwayne Richens' team, D2D. They had 29 units and $9.9 million. Second place goes to Lacey Stevens and the World Shakers team, 19 units, 6.5 million. And third place goes to Wow House, Kevin and Cody at 15 units, just over $7 million in production. So congratulations to you teams. And our group winners, first place was Be Heard in Utah at 50.5 units and almost $20 million for the month of July. Second place goes to South Valley proper, 39.5 units and 18.6 million in production. And third place goes to the Roxburgh group at 38.5 units and 14.5 million. So an amazing month. Congratulations to all of you guys. It's rough out there. And I want to welcome all of our new agents. These are new agents that came on in the month of July. So if you see them, reach out, say hi, make them feel welcome. We've got Taylor Young, Jasmine Milbury, Braxton Barlow, Mariah Lopez, Jen Woolboy, Luke Gonzalez, Keaton Godfrey, Alexis Bailey, Adam Spencer, Katie Kelly, Seth Rooker, Patricia Dominguez, and Jeremy Beardsley. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you guys. So I wanted to go over a little bit about where our numbers ended for July. This graphic was sent to you guys in an email. I try to send out our numbers every month with a graphic that you can use in either social media, or I know a lot of people will print it out and put it in their listing packets or their buyer packets. It really just kind of shows why you should choose an agent with Keller Williams. So we're going to dive into the numbers a little bit here as to what's on the graphic, but this is available in that email from me that says July's numbers are in. This graphic is available to use however you want to. So here's where we ended up in July. We closed 306 units, which is a new all-time high for the Market Center ever. Our closed sales volume was over 122 million, which is 16 million higher than the next highest month, which just happened to have been last month. So we had 2 record-breaking months in a row. Listings sold, we sold 130 units. Our next highest was 110 units, which was last month. Again, we're just building on these record-breaking months. Listings sold volume was 52 million, almost 53 million, which is 13 million more than last month. Contracts written, we wrote 308 contracts in July. That's just, it's a crazy amount. It's the highest we've ever written as a market center. And then the most important number, closed GCI, how much you guys made. So we paid out over $3 million to our agents in the market center in GCI, which is the highest we have ever done in the history of the market center. So just an amazing record-breaking month. So congratulations to all of you guys. And this is how we compared to our MLS. So in units sold, our market center was up 63.6%, and the MLS was up 12.9%. So growth all around, but we outperformed our MLS by 50.8% on units sold. On units sold volume, we were up 66.2%. The MLS was up 22.9%. So we outperformed our local market by 43.4%. On listings taken, we were up 25.3%, and the MLS was up 12.8%. So we outperformed our MLS by 12.4%. The only area that we did not outperform the MLS was our listings taken volume. We were still up. We were up 3.5%. The MLS was up 22.9%. So they outperformed us by 19.3. So that's interesting that we took more listings, but our listings volume wasn't as strong as the listings that we took. So just something to be aware of there. And so those are all the numbers that are included on that graphic for you guys to use. Any questions on any of those? All right. So one thing to be super, super proud and excited about is our profit share. In the month of July alone, we paid out $26,048 to you guys, our agents. I feel like maybe some agents don't quite know how profit share works, but we literally take about 48% of our profits at the end of the month and pay that all back out to our agents. So if you are not getting a profit share check and you want to be getting a profit share check every month, go visit Eden. She'll teach you how to get your share of that profit share. We, year to date, are at $98,590 that we have paid back to our agents this year in profit share, which is unbelievable. So that's something that we really want to celebrate and help grow. So if you're not a part of that right now, get with Eden and she will help you to learn how to get your share of the profit share money. So pretty awesome month. Okay, so I want to turn the time over to Kimber. She's going to introduce our guest speaker for the day. And yeah, thanks you guys. Take it away, Kimber.
Okay, so I am really excited. If you guys have been at our market center a while, it has been a little bit since we've had Jeff as a guest speaker at team meeting. And what I love about Jeff is he really dives into the numbers, not only to be the expert for his clients, but it also gets him a lot of business because he knows all of these numbers. And so Emily was talking to him the other day and he said he would be willing to just get on, log into his MLS and show us how he does this. And then just right at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can use this info to market yourself. But I really wanted him to have the bulk of the time because he has some good stuff. And we're recording this, so if you miss some of the little details, you can go back and watch it. Am I the host right now, Amy?
I'm going to stop sharing and then I think you should be able to pick it up.
If you, yeah, let me just see if I can. So Jeff, I am going to make you the host, I think. No, I'm not the host. So if you can just go onto participants, click on participants, and next to Jeff, you can make him the host. Then you don't need to make me the.
There he is.
And Stephen, your question about where are they? We post them on our YouTube channel. So I will post a link to that in the chat so you guys have that.
All right, Jeff, you should be good to go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so how much time do I have just so I know how to kind of gauge myself?
Pretty much right up until 12. I just want to show one graphic and where people can access it to edit it. So you get the time.
Well, I might not be up to 12, so I'm sure
Okay,
everybody's
well then
super
I'll
busy.
take the rest.
but-
I'll fill
no,
whatever.
you're good. So I'm going to share my screen. I like numbers a lot, and it works in so many different ways. Like I have a lot of people that come up to me and say, how's the market going? I think a lot of you have had that as well. And when I just share numbers, instead of saying, oh man, I've had, a hard time getting listings, keeping them on the market because they sell so fast, or I have buyers that are having a hard time getting bids. Instead of saying stuff like that, if you start using numbers, people start seeing you as the expert. And so that's why I like using numbers, and numbers, it's so easy to back up. We have a lot of discount brokerages out there, and a lot of people sometimes don't look favorably to real estate agents. But if you come across as the expert and use numbers as a way to talk to people, people start seeing you as the expert. And a lot of those questions, like I don't remember the last time somebody, I really don't remember the last time somebody actually pushed me on my commissions, or I had an issue with that when I've done my listing appointments. And so, and it's just because you start using numbers and people start seeing you as the expert. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go over a couple things, just some basic stuff that I use when I talk to people and then also I use a lot of this stuff when I go and start do valuations for properties. So let me share my screen real quick. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me turn this on. I've got 3 monitors open, so, let me do this. It's not letting me, when I click this one on, it goes to another screen. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, it keeps going to a different screen. Anyways, let's just go up here. So, understanding the market through numbers. So this is kind of how it goes. This is kind of my process. If there's anybody have any suggestions or differences that they'd like to use, feel free you can chime in if you want. But so basic vocabulary with real estate market. When I talk about the market, I'm talking about real estate, and I literally wrote this up at 10:45, but it's my definition is that it's a geographic area that has sellers and buyers. When I talk about supply, I'm talking about active homes on the market. So knowing this information is super helpful because you'll start seeing how you can use the MLS and what the MLS is telling you with numbers. So supply to me is active homes on the market, or it means the number of sellers that are in the market. When I look at demand, I look at sold homes. So if I want to know what is the demand in the market, especially if I want 35 to 40 days ago, I go to look at solds. And that's the number of buyers that were in the market 30 to 45 days ago. So if we have solds that sold in the month of August, that's really the demand or the number of buyers that were in the market 30 to 45 days ago. If I want to know what the demand or the number of buyers that are currently in the market, like under 30 days, I go to under contracts and backups for homes. And if you notice, I keep saying homes here. When I do my numbers always with, unless I'm doing a condo or a townhome, but I always do it with single family homes. And the reason for that is because single family homes determine what the prices will be for townhomes and condos. I see those as alternative purchases. So if single family homes become more expensive and less buyers can buy a single family home, they'll alternatively go to a townhome or a condo. So I always look at single family homes. And then on price, it's the value that is determined by a buyer. Determined by a seller or the supply, and a buyer the demand. So if you look at how I come up with price, you'll see that it's a lot different than how an appraiser comes up with price. An appraiser just looks at the demand. They only look at what's sold, right? They look at comparables, but that causes a lot of problems when there's a shortage of supply. And so that's why you see a lot of issues that go on with appraisers and values not coming in. Okay, so let's give some examples. And this is where we're just going to dive in. Let's go. So example number one is I use daily snapshot, the report. I use that a lot. And this came in handy in February. So in February, we all know that we had COVID that hit, and everybody was saying, what is going on? Is our market going to fall out? In the following weeks after that, you started seeing appraisals not coming in because appraisers literally thought the market was going to go down. So they started getting some appraisals low. And people were asking me, what do you think is going to happen? Well, what I did was I turned to the daily market snapshot. And what I did was so you guys see all this. Let me show you this. So when you actually log into the MLS, you'll get this off to the left or right here. And so that's telling me that new listings that came on the market was active. So we had an extra 68 homes of supply come on the market. But then look at right here, we had 27, and I don't really like how the MLS does backup and under contract because I end up just adding those together, but that's about 170. So if you look at that, you're like, okay, so we had 68 homes come on the market, but for every seller that entered the market, we had 3 buyers buy, almost 3, right? It's a little bit less, but it's almost 3 buyers go under contract. So what that's telling you is that for every 1 home that's coming on the market, 3 just went under contract, which is a crazy market trend. So that's how I look at supply and demand. And then if you go back to right here, so when I click on stats, sell daily snapshot report, it comes up to this. It'll automatically look at you, and you can say, when somebody says, how's the market? This is what I literally tell people. I say, it's insane right now. Last year, there were about 10,000 homes on the market. This year, there's about 5,000 homes on the market. Where did I get those numbers? Right there. So there's 50% less sellers, less homes in the market. And then if you add, and then you've got the backup and under contract, so you have to add those together. But if you add the 65 and the 85, and then you add that together, it's basically a 36% difference. And I'm like, it's insane. We've got 50% less homes on the market, and we've got 36% more buyers in the market, more demand. So less supply, more demand. And what's going to happen? Price. So like we set up here, when supply and price is determined by supply and demand. So if there's less homes on the market, we know that, and there's more demand, we know that prices are going to go up. So then let me just show you a couple things that I did. So if this is boring, let me know. I can definitely move on to a few other things. So hopefully this is
Jeff, may I ask you something?
Yeah.
Sorry, may I ask you something? Sorry interrupting you. I just want to know, so according to you, what is the real reason behind that decreased amount of houses that are for sale? Is because people holding back because of the election?
No, that's a great point. Let me show you some numbers. So let's just let the numbers show what's going on. So, and I've got some thoughts on it, but let me just let's go through this real quick, and then I'll kind of go back with you. So when this is what I did was, you can go on a date range. So I was here, not here. Well, I was right here where you do your daily snapshot. And then I go to date range. Go to date range and then click all the way back to February. Everybody's wondering what's happening for COVID. And then I always say you have to set it up. Always, you have to hit this number again. And then you can do county, and you can even do city or zip codes. So then I hit run, but it takes a little while. So then it pulls up this. So I did it just for the entire MLS. So when people were asking me, Jeff, what's happening with the real estate market? this was my biggest friend. I did this every day and sometimes multiple times a day. And I was sending screenshots of this in text messages to sellers that were asking me, what should I do? And I said, look at, this is what I'm seeing. Everybody thought the real estate, a lot of people were saying the real estate market was going down. And I said, let me show you what this is. The black right here, down here gives a legend, says the previous year. This is the black. So what they did was every year, this is active, every day, the MLS said how many homes are on the market. You can see, if I move it, it changes, but you can see there it says 2019. On February 4th, there's 8445. In 2020, it was 6321. So, and then the gap between the green, the black and the blue is the difference between those two. So you can see this is about 84. This is about that 64. So you can see visually the gap right there. So when people were asking me, I was saying, look, if we use the baseline of last year, there's totally a lot less homes on the market. And then you go to back up and under contracts, and you can see that there's more, the blue, which is this year, and the black is last year, you can see that there's more buyers in the market. And so I told them, I said, look, we've got more buyers in the market and a crazy amount of less homes in the market. And so we started pricing our homes accordingly. So other people were super scared because they thought they weren't going to be able to sell their homes. Some people took their homes off the market, kind of like what George, you were asking. And what I did was we kept our home prices high. And then all of a sudden we started getting 4 or 5 deals under contract, which was surprising to me, but not according to the numbers. And then what happened was we saw, once everybody saw that everybody was still alive, you started seeing that that more buyers, more sellers entered the market. And then what happened, less are kind of going in right there. And so you can kind of see that there's less sellers in the market. So why are there less sellers in the market? That's a whole nother class. I've got some thoughts on that, George, but I do think that there's a lot of people not wanting to sell right now due to COVID and a few other things. But what's interesting is the amount of buyers that are coming into the market. And you can see that through this. And so when I saw this, so you can see kind of what's going on is that there's still a lot of buyers coming into the market. And what I think what's happening right here is that we slowed down a little bit, and then we started having a lot of people coming in from out of state. Like I think all of us have had a lot of people coming in from California and a lot of these other places where people are wanting to move for different reasons due to COVID and et cetera. But you can see this huge gap that's starting to happen right now between the number of how many more buyers are in the market compared to last year, the number of buyers in the market. So, or should I say demand. And when you're talking with somebody that likes sellers or buyers that like numbers, you just say subtract, get rid of active homes and just say it's supply and say under contracts are demand. And then, but that's right today, that's what our numbers are. And it's really great. And then you can see right here withdrawn and off market. I used to, George, back to your question, I used to say that there's a lot of people that got scared of selling their homes. But what we're seeing right here, there really isn't a huge difference. Like you can see right there right now, last year, there's 817 that took their homes off the market. There's 845, that's only 40 for the entire market. And then there's actually less people that have withdrawn their homes off the market currently, if you look at these numbers. So it's not necessarily people are scared of putting their homes on the market. I think people are wanting to just stay put. And they see that Utah is a great place to be. And that we fared really well when we hit COVID. Okay, so.
Hey Jeff, question for you.
Yeah.
On that same page, I'm on that same page. I'm seeing a graph, but I'm not seeing the same graph you have.
Yeah, no, it's the date range.
And I did select the same date range. All I'm seeing is these bar graphs. I'm not seeing a graph like yours that has a lot more data on it.
Yeah, you have to hit update 5 times.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but.
Only 5 times.
Yeah. No, it's true. Watch, hit it 5 times.
Watch.
Just give me a thumbs up, Jonathan, when it finally goes for you. You'll see it start calculating, but you literally have to hit it 5 times. I don't know why. So, and if it doesn't work, let me know. I do appreciate questions because it gives me feedback that people are into this. I feel like I'm just kind of talking to myself. So, okay, so another thing that you need to learn about when you're doing these numbers is you need to learn how to calculate and describe change in the market. So it's a formula, we call it appreciation, we call it depreciation, etc. But the formula is this: you take the newest number, divide that by the old number, minus 1, and that gives you the percentage of change in the market. Okay, so let's run some scenarios here. So we're right here. Well, let me just do this actually. How did they get 49% right here? So what they did was they took the newest number, divided that by the old number, minus 1, and that gave you that. So let me show you that with I love spreadsheets. So I kind of did that right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know if everybody can see my screen. Okay. So you can see 2019 active was 99.34. And they changed it a little bit. So 50.39, I don't know why that changed, but anyways, you can see that I took the old number, the newest number, I13 right here, divided that by H13, which is right there, minus 1, and that gave me 49.28, which is the exact same number that they gave. So I use this little formula so much. It's the simplest formula, but you just need to make sure you understand that that's how you come up with percentage difference in the market. And you use that for appreciation, etc. Okay. So when I do backups, like when I look at demand for under contracts, I add the backup and under contract stats to each other. And then I get my percentage difference, which is about 36.7 or 37%. Okay. Any questions on that? Pretty simple, but a lot of people don't understand that. So, okay, so let me go back to my, okay, next number, the home sales graph. So I use this graph a lot for different reasons. So you can come in here to the home sales graph, and what the home sales, I always go back to 2005 because it shows market trends. So let's just do Salt Lake County. What I like about this graph is that you can put a lot of variables in there. And so you can even go to a map and you can do a polygon around a specific area, and you can get super hyper local, and you can see what's going on market trends. So we can talk about that in a second.
Can you explain really quick why you do single family? You were talking to me about that yesterday.
Yeah, I do single family because it's a key indicator. So meaning that where single family homes are going, townhomes, condos, apartments even tend to follow. So if single family homes are increasing, condos, there's a delay. Townhomes and condos will, in a month or 45 days later, you typically see those start going up. If single family homes start coming down, you'll see townhomes and condos, those have to go down even farther because people would rather have a single family home than a townhome or a condo. And especially right now with COVID. So let's hit. So what this is doing is this is going to go back to 2005, and it's going to calculate all the different quarters for sold prices, and then the number of homes listed, which is supply, and the total number of homes sold. So it's going to be a really big graph, and don't get scared of it. It's pretty simple if you just kind of look at it and look at the legend there. Okay, holy cow, it's already 11:52. Wow. Yeah, we won't have time to go through everything then. Okay, so here's the graph. It looks really ugly, but it's really awesome. So you can see that every quarter is right here. First quarter 2005, we go all the way to second quarter 2020, which is June of this year. You see if you look down here, the green line shows total number of homes listed, so it's our supply. The black shows total number of homes sold, that's our demand. And the median sales price is it's what happens. When people ask about, are we in an up market or a down market, or the real estate goes in waves, you can literally see the wave right here with prices. You see it go up, We peaked in 2007 at 256. The median sales price is 256. Median means half the homes sold above 256, half the homes sold below. You can see that we bottomed out at 190 in first quarter of 2012, and now we're up to 410, right? So it shows 410. The other thing you want to look at here is you want to look at supply. The gap between supply and the gap between demand is what did not sell. And that's really important because it shows people that what was going on. I actually had, this was a huge important graph. Like when I was working with some investors and I had 8 land developments going on back in 2006. And I started seeing this going on right here. When I saw 2 consecutive quarters of the market demand going down, and I saw this going on with supply going up, I said, everybody out. And one guy didn't get out and he ended up losing a lot of money.
Wow.
But what's important though is one other thing is you're seeing a trend going on right here with demand. So when sellers ask, when is the best time to sell? And they ask about what's the cyclical, what's going on, what's the cyclical market of real estate in Utah? This is what they're talking about right here. So you can see first quarter is when we have the least amount of demand or buyers in the market. It jumped, but then between first to second quarter is when we have the biggest jump from the number of buyers entering the market. It jumps up, it stays about the same during third, then it goes fourth, and then it goes down to first. So you can see this, you can see the second, third, fourth, first, and you just see this trend going on here. That's just a cyclical time. So as you explain that to sellers, and you can also see that the number of homes going on the market goes up as well, but there's a little bit of a delay between supply and demand. You'll see up here that home prices jump the most between first and second quarter, and it's because of supply and demand. But as you like explain some of this stuff to people, like you don't need to go into as much detail as I'm giving you, but and you start hyper localizing this to their area, people start understanding that you know the market. And then so if you look at right now, back in June, when they averaged everything, you can see that, hey, the gap between supply and demand is really low, and it says that our sales prices our median sold price is 410. So that's all great, but that's in June. Okay, so June was what, 75 days ago? So how do you get numbers right now? Like I need to know, is the median sales price in Salt Lake still 410? So then what you do for that is I go to stats again, and I look at sales per month. So this one gets a little bit more hairy, but it gives me accurate information, and I'm able to really I'm able to value how I evaluate properties and for my listings. So I go down to January, I look at 2020, and then I say same thing, single family homes, Salt Lake County, and then you look right here. So we're thinking, okay, the median sales price should be about 410. Well, if you look at what's going on right here. Let me show you, I probably need to explain what's going on with this graph. This is the months. This is how many homes sold during those months. This is the volume. So if you add all the sales prices to those, that's the volume. This is median original list price. This is to the median sold price. So, and then this is the difference. So you can kind of see when people say, hey, when you're with your buyers and they're saying, hey, I want to come in 15% under market value, you show them this number. You're like, hey, look at right now, last month we had 1,400 homes that were sold, and almost 15 that were sold, and they basically sold for either over or just a little bit under. People are not getting 15% discounts. And when you start showing them this, they're like, whoa, this is what's going on.
Do you have time just to quickly show, so this same report, but show how they can draw that little polygon in an area and get this same data?
Yeah, I can.
When we were kind of going through an example yesterday in Saratoga, and he's going to pull it up, I mean, the numbers were insane.
Yep, so. Let's do it. So yeah, thank you so much. I know it's starting to get crazy. So what I do is you can go to your monthly sales report. So let's say that you're in Stillwater. So we kind of I literally randomly chose this yesterday with Kimber. And I said, you can use, I was showing her that you can use this with any location, and we just dialed in. So Stillwater is about here. And so you just draw your little line right here. And you don't want to go down there because that's the Fieldstone homes, and they're different. It's a totally different market right there. Okay, so now we click on that, and you say, you can use all these reports with it, but you can go view the market. So right here, you can see in Stillwater, back in January, and I just quickly look at price per square foot, the median sales price, and you can see it went from 129 all the way to 136. You can see what's happening, like homes are selling for 101%, 102%, and you can see real quickly that the prices are now going up to $505,000. So what I do in a situation like this, I usually just copy this right here, copy it, put it into a spreadsheet. I got this zoomed in so darn far. Put this into a spreadsheet. And then I do my new, well, let me go over here. Yeah, so newest number, oldest number, minus, divide the two, divide, and then minus 1, and then percentage change. Okay. So, okay, so my newest number is the 505. My oldest number that I want to use is, let's just say January. You divide those two together. So you go that divided by that. And you go minus 1. Well, you just put 1 in there, sorry. And then you go equals that minus 1. And then you go 25%. So you got, so what's happened is, this is crazy. So if you're going to do if Stillwater's your farm, you can say, you can send out this thing and say there's been 25% change in the market in Stillwater since January of this year. But let's just say you wanted to see, like, is that real? Like, what kind of homes, if you're going to be, and this is important if you're going to have a listing in that area, because if you go back and you try to list it saying, hey, the median sales price is 410, you're way off on this one. You need to be seeing what's going on in this area, and you want to go look at these 6 homes. So the way that you want to look at those 6 homes, and I know that we're running out of time, so, but the way you go look at those 6 homes is you just hit the tab button, you go over, you hit the tab button, it saves your map area. So you'll see that if I hit the map, see how it's saved where I put, so I don't even have to put that in again. And I'd say, okay, what were the ones that sold since January of this year? So you just go here and just say January, or actually, sorry, the 6 were in August. See the 6 right there? 6 came up. That's our MLS. I don't know why it just did that. Hold on. Sometimes MLS does that if you have too many ones pulled up. Okay, let's try this one more time. There it is. So here are the 6 homes that have sold, and that gives you all the numbers. So you can go through and look at all the different reports, but that's how they came up with their numbers in this report right here. And you can go back and look at the 15. So it's just a super nice thing. The other thing that I do, just one last thing, and then I'll be quiet, Kimber, is I come here and I quickly look at my supply 5, and I look at my demand 19. So what that's telling me, in that market, for every home that's on a market, there's 4 buyers for that market. That's insane.
And how valuable is that? I mean, you guys, if you think of if you have a buyer in that area and you're trying to help guide them as to what to offer on a property, like to be able to show them it's the homes in here are selling at 100% of their list price. There's this many buyers for this one home. Like it just gives you so much value in navigating both your buyers and your sellers to just have this information or know how to go in and look it up for whatever area they're looking at.
Okay,
Jeff,
I'm gonna.
Can you pull up your spreadsheet really quick?
Yeah.
I just want to show you because I thought this was cool. So this is pretty much the example that we were going over yesterday. So he has the newest and the oldest number. So in case he wants to educate his sellers on the last 60 days, all he has to do is go change the oldest number to 60 days ago, which is that 442, right? And then it gives a percentage. So just in 60 days, that number has changed 14%. So I feel like just this in front of somebody is that, okay, 25% this year, but just 14% since the summer even started. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good push. It's that like fence sitter push.
So just one last thing, and then I'm done. So I apologize.
Well, the audience is hanging on, so it's all good.
So if you go to Twilla County, this is really crazy. If you go to Twilla County, if you look at the total of number of homes on the market and that are active, there's 105. So that changed by about 11 since yesterday. But then if you look at number of under contracts, give it a second. Oh, I meant single family homes too, but 209, that's just insane to me. Like that's for an entire county. And then if you go single family homes on that, so 247, 90 to 240, that's insane to me. And I did it in one area. There was like 2 and there was like 40 that were on the under contract. It's like for every one home there was there's like 15 buyers. So just kind of fun stuff that you can do, and you can kind of help educate your sellers on what to put the house up for as well.
It is so valuable, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was really useful. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. So now I need to figure out how to shut off my screen. Hold on. Screen stop sharing.
So next week, I feel like, Jeff, people are going to ask to have you come back. So sorry, just you might have to come back a couple times because this another thing me and Jeff talked about. So if we have a team meeting that's just about appraisals, he has something that he does just on that with price. So he's got a lot of tools that are.
Yeah, I'd be happy. If people want me to come back, I'd be happy to come back.
Okay. Awesome. Well, next week we're going to talk more, like dive in more on marketing. So I think we'll just cover some of these stats in the marketing side of things when we do it next week, because I would rather have had Jeff have way more time. So that was good. Okay, Amy, anything else?
Was there one graphic you wanted to share?
I mean, I can show it. It's not like exciting, but I'll show you really quick. Well, now I lost the Zoom. Okay, where am I? So I'll just show you really quick. So this is just part of, can you guys see that? You guys can all see that? So this is just an example of something that's already in Command. It's just part of the listing presentation. So some of those stats that me and Jeff were pulling yesterday, you could just go plug in a zip code, change the text, throw in your numbers, and you've got this, and you've got your app
How
code.
awesome is that to have in your listing presentation
So,
when you go to do listing in that neighborhood?
Yeah, so it took me 5 minutes. So
cool.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much, you guys. Appreciate you being on. And I've had a few people ask, yes, this is being recorded and it'll be on our YouTube channel. So watch for that if you need to go back in and kind of go through some of those details of how to pull things up again. That'll be available to you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Have a great week.